And good afternoon, everyone. Phil Penarski here with the News 8 Live Desk. Hope you're all having a great day so far. We just talked about what you can expect as far as your holiday travel concerns might be with the forecast. Now we're going to get into the other best part of the Thanksgiving holiday, and that, of course, is the shopping, the really kicking off all the holiday shopping that is being done. It can be a little bit tricky now with all these companies, and they're pushing out deals, and you see them everywhere. As soon as you turn on your phone, it can be a little bit tricky to sort of dive through it all, but lucky for us, that's why we have Best Reviews. They have some of the best guides around to make sure that you know what exactly is on sale, where you can get it at the cheapest price, and make sure that everything that's on your holiday list gets checked off. And of course, we are now being joined by Jacob Palmer with Best Reviews. He's one of our favorite guests to have on, especially during this time of year. Jacob, thank you so much for stopping by today.
Hey, Phil, thanks for having me. It's a great time of year to save some money, but like you said, there's a lot of stuff out there, and it's useful to have whatever guidance you can get to save as much money as possible, because there is opportunity.
Absolutely. And I want to remind everybody that we've got all of the guides that Best Review has put together right now over on our website, woodtv.com. You can find all of their guides, whether you're looking for stuff under $50, under $100, maybe some electronics, all that good stuff. You can find it in any of those guides. But Jacob, talking about those guides, that's how I kind of want to start off this conversation. You guys over at Best Reviews obviously put a lot of effort into all of these guides. What was it like this time around, sort of just compiling everything, noticing everything that's going to be on sale?
Yeah, well, there's the number one, what we noticed is that there's just a lot of retailers getting involved earlier than ever. And basically, Black Friday, Thanksgiving week, whatever they're going to end up calling it. This is like for a company like Best Reviews, this is our Super Bowl, because we spend all year long, number one, looking at prices so we get an idea of what is going to be the best price and when is it time to really leap at something. Number two, we're also testing a lot of this stuff throughout the year because we know what's going to be popular. So we get it in our testing lab. We put it side by side with some of their most popular contenders, and then we try to boil it down and give you the recommendation. And obviously, there's always something that's better for one person that's better for the other. So we're looking at those kinds of real world recommendations as well. For more of these side by side things and kind of an idea of like how our testing lab works and seeing it in action, I would definitely recommend checking out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/bestreviews, because we're doing a lot of this work and putting it out there so folks can simplify their purchasing decisions, make sure that they aren't wasting money. And really right now over Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we are seeing a rollout of their best prices a little bit early and across the board with a lot of different retailers. We're constantly tracking Amazon, of course, Walmart, Best Buy, Target, and a lot of these places have gotten started early because of how late Thanksgiving is this year.
Of course, one other thing I really wanted to touch on was really just how these holidays, these sale holidays have changed. I remember growing up, finishing Thanksgiving dinner, immediately hopping in the car, waiting in line at Best Buy, waiting for Black Friday deals to kind of start. That really isn't the case anymore. Like you said, we're seeing these deals happen a whole lot earlier. It's basically really moved to a lot of online deals that are happening, and people love shopping online, of course. I mean, have you guys sort of noticed that really sort of swing over from where we were even just 5 years ago before the pandemic to where we are now?
I think you nailed it. I mean, the turning point really was the pandemic, where back then, it was a pretty modest percentage of folks that chose to shop via e-commerce. And then I think the pandemic really trained people and educated people on how they can make the most out of online shopping. I think it was more of a niche thing for a very long time. And then all of a sudden, everybody was very conversant and very understanding on how to do it. And so there's a few different things at play here with your question, Phil. Number one is some things are the same, and what I mean by that is after Thanksgiving dinner, I think a lot of folks do change how they are going to be looking at it and thinking about a lot of the different shopping things that are coming up for them. So what I mean by that is, they finish their Thanksgiving dinner, they're sitting around, but instead of loading up the car, instead of heading to Walmart, Best Buy, whatever, they are going to be pulling out their phones. And so we see it in our data as we're tracking online shopping, that it's about 7 p.m. local, no matter where you are. That's where the spike really happens and where people really start to turn their attention to shopping and deal hunting. But again, they're not getting in their cars. You've seen it with a lot of the ways that the retailers are changing their own things, where they're giving their employees Thanksgiving off. They aren't doing doorbusters at midnight because frankly, the doorbusters are happening on their the phone and on their website. And how does that change for the back end for the retailers? Well, instead of the frontline retail workers needing to work, it's the factory workers and the warehouse workers that are really turning it up, and the pressure kind of applies now onto them. So what we're seeing in in the trend this year is that really after Halloween they started to do a big Black Friday push because of how late Thanksgiving is. As I mentioned, they want to be able to make sure that everybody's getting their gifts and presents and purchases by Christmas, and that everything is wrapped and under the tree. So that means that fulfillment becomes a big stressor when Thanksgiving falls this late. So what we're seeing is that there's a big ramping up in terms of fulfillment ops, and folks that are getting in there, whether they're delivery drivers or working in the warehouses, to make sure that they can turn around and get that fast, free shipping that a lot of folks, Amazon hangs their hat on that. And now a lot of folks in the area, in that sector, are now emulating, whether it be Target or Walmart or whoever.
And I think one thing for people to also kind of keep in mind as far as the online shopping deals go is that if you were watching our travel forecast, things are starting to get a little bit dicey here in West Michigan Thursday into Friday. So probably a good thing most people are now trained to sort of look for those deals online. And, that's where you can find all of the best reviews guides as well. And again, as I mentioned, they go through a whole bunch of different topics and varieties. So you're going to find something, a great deal on whatever you're looking for. They've got you all covered there. Jacob, it would take us probably 1,000 years to go through each of those guides individually. But for people that are watching and just kind of want some quick hits of things that are really, really great deals this Black Friday and Cyber Monday this time around, what would be maybe your 4 or 5 items that you think people really need to be aware of that are going to be on sale?
This is great. No, I love this question, and I've been thinking about it constantly. And I've been honing my answers on this a lot of times. So number one, what do you think about when you think about Black Friday deals? I think personally, when you were, painting the picture of heading over to Best Buy, it's TVs. Everybody lines up for the TV. It's one of those products that keeps getting cheaper while the technology keeps getting better. And this year is no different. We're seeing huge discounts from Vizio, which is a great budget brand TV. And then also, if you want the higher end, Samsung and LG also have some really big deals right now where you're going to be saving hundreds of dollars to be able to do that. So that's number one, is TVs, kind of the gift that everybody thinks about for these big shopping days. One topic in one category that's really been popular this year has been the beauty category. So we're seeing it in a bunch of different ways, whether it's just in the everyday essentials. Right now we're seeing a big deal on a Clinique makeup remover that everybody seems to be jumping on because they know they're going to need it year round. Why not save on it when there's a big deal right now? That's one that we're seeing. But the one that is really jumping off the page to my editors and my team is the Dyson line of hair products. Again, this was a big one last year, and as the product gets even more sophisticated and it evolves as a product type, it is getting snapped up left and right. So that's gonna be another big one. That's gonna be my number 2. Number 3, what we're seeing is on the apparel side, and this is a great one to check out as well. I mean, they're definitely in our best reviews guides, and we're seeing them getting rolled out at different retailers. But Carhartt obviously seems to getting bigger and bigger every year. Growing up in Michigan myself, it seemed like the go-to choice for the blue collar workers, for the folks, getting stuff done around the community. And now it's, for whatever reason, transitioned and being for everybody, whether you're just stylish and you're wearing it to your office job, as well as for those blue collar folks. But we're seeing big markdowns, so that's another one to check out right now while they're at big deals. And then number 4, where we're seeing it in the toys area, is on Legos. And this is, again, I always want to talk about toys when I'm talking about my recommendations here, because toys is one of those categories that just sells out. It's just a matter of fact of life. And you were talking about it earlier, Phil, about the kind of things that you just kind of come to expect over the years. I mean, this is an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie premise. So it's that old in terms of how long this has been the case, and it's still true. So what we're seeing right now are Legos that are aligned with different movies. So whatever franchise you're into right now, you can find a lot of different Lego products, and definitely recommend that because there are great discounts. And what I will say about Lego products is they do not do a lot of discounts outside of this shopping weekend. It's basically now and a few other shopping events throughout the year, and that's basically your only chance to save on it. So if you've got a Lego enthusiast, that is another one to check out. And then lastly, my 5th choice here is what I am calling the best gift of the season. Every year at Best Reviews, we try to get as much user feedback as we can and try to find out what is it that really made people happy over the holiday season, to open that present up. And Theragun has fit the bill basically better than anybody. And this year we're seeing a huge discount on a product that I think is kind of the perfection of their model line, because they were able to mark it down, number one, on its price point. I think in the past, one of the things that folks didn't really like about Theragun is that it was an expensive, high price point thing. Right now, you can get a Theragun Sense for less than $120, which makes it super friendly, kind of right in that range where folks are looking at for a great gift. And then the person who's going to open is going to love it because it helps with circulation, it helps with some tension release, it helps kind of sleep better at the end of the day. And then the Sense has some really cool technology in it where it guides you through the entire process, so it's as simple as it can be with the LED screen it has on it. But it's still as simple to use as any of their other ones with kind of the one button technology they have.
Definitely things for people to kind of keep an eye out for. And something else that we kind of want people to also kind of keep an eye out for would be those, I don't want to say lesser products or maybe lesser deals, because anytime you can save a little bit of money is a good thing. But are there any items that maybe you would say aren't, maybe not to avoid, but aren't a necessity this weekend, or things that maybe you could hold off on? Maybe the deal isn't as great as you guys maybe thought it was going to be, or really just something that people they have a little bit more time than just this weekend to purchase for this holiday season.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to attack this in two different ways. First off, what do you want to avoid? I'm perfectly happy to answer that question. What you want to avoid is going to Amazon and typing into the search bar, or you can do the same thing on Walmart.com or Target.com or any of these, and then searching in the search bar for what you're thinking. Maybe you want a blender, maybe you want a new speaker system or something like that. Because what you're going to get, especially these bigger retailers, is a lot of options that are a little bit more pay to play, and they're not going to be the best brands. And they'll have all of the banners, they'll have all of the blinking lights of this is a Black Friday deal, this is a big savings, but it's not going to be their best products. Because the thing about Amazon and Walmart and a lot of these places are, Target as well, is that they have absolutely everything. So that means that they're going to have a lot of things that are worth avoiding as well. So you're going to want to kind of take that curated journey and not just buy something that says it's a big deal, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure you're getting the brand name. And a lot of times shoppers aren't familiar with what the brand names are. Why would you? You've got a day job, you've got a lot of things that you're paying attention to. You're not going to know, hey, is this brand worth jumping at or not? So you want to kind of use those Best Reviews guides. You want to have that guidance. So that's number one. Number two, something you can wait on, and that the deals are going to be as good. One thing that I recommend here is, depending on what your goal is, workout equipment is a good one, because they know that everybody wants to redefine themselves basically from the December 20th and on. Maybe they had a big Thanksgiving, maybe they had a lot of holiday cookies on their run up to December 25th. So they want to be able to get people when they're going to be most motivated to shop. So that is an area that we do recommend. While there are good deals out, and we do have some recommendations for folks that, especially if they want it for their Christmas present, you can get good deals, but you don't necessarily need to jump on them immediately, because there's also going to be good deals basically from now until January-ish. Middle of January is kind of the cutoff point that we generally look at there. So that is the one area. If you're thinking new year, new me, but you want to maybe spread out your shopping and hold on to one thing for later in the season, that's one to check out later in the season. We'll be covering it then as well, because we've been testing cold plunge tubs, we've been testing adjustable dumbbells and kettlebells and all these other things, that we know folks are going to really want to turn their attention to, later in the year.
I always love our conversations, Jacob, because we take these, super complex ideas and really break them all down. And of course, they're even more broken down, and even some helpful links in those Best Reviews guides, which people can find on woodtv.com. And Jacob, before we let you go, is there one piece, if you can kind of just comprise this whole conversation into one thing for people to just keep in mind when they're shopping, what would it be?
Frankly, my piece of advice would be, you're not going to lose much, if anything at all, by shopping now. This year is different than a lot. A lot of the times they were holding back on their best deals for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. This year, with the fulfillment concerns and with just how shopping habits have changed, you're not going to be missing out by shopping now. And if you get the bulk of your shopping done on Thanksgiving, before Thanksgiving, you're not going to be missing out on the best savings. And frankly, the one cost you're going to have by waiting is that we might start seeing the stock getting lower on Cyber Monday, even though the pricing will remain as low on Cyber Monday. So shop now. If you're a procrastinator, you should be fine waiting till Cyber Monday. But the one risk you're running by doing that is that you might run out of stock.
All right, great stuff. Jacob, thank you so much for stopping by. I do want to remind everybody one last time that all of the best reviews guides to maximize the fun on Black Friday and Cyber Monday are available to you right now over on our website, woodtv.com. Highly encourage you to go ahead and check all of those out. Make the shopping experience a whole lot more fun, and you'll be a lot more prepared this time around. Jacob, thank you so much for stopping by today. We really do appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Of course. I want to thank everybody else for tuning into this latest edition of the News 8 Live Desk. I'm Phil Pinarski, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.